everyone, it's Julie here. So I'm going to do a demo. Everybody's been asking me to do one.
Well, welcome everyone to this special tribute to Julie Thompson. We have her mother, Gina Dibartolo, her best friend, Jena Campbell.
Hi.
8 years ago on this date came one of the most horrific times in my life. We're all going to be emotional with me starting. But yeah, we're actually here it's July 18, 2015. And I know the call came in Eastern time because I'm here in California. It's 100 degrees and I'm getting broiled, but thank God I'm in air conditioning and modern conveniences. But the last 10 years for all of us has been very, very difficult. And we've all been our different lives and how we're trying to cope with this, even though it's 8 years ago. So I'm going to use the word squish, Gina Dibartolo. In subsequent podcasts and videos down the road, we'll get into our relationship because there's a lot there and a lot to discuss. And through that relationship with Julie, as you can see the little picture on the top right-hand corner with Gina and Julie as a little girl. And then her best girlfriend, Jena Campbell, is there with us.
Yeah.
Yes. So welcome all of you with this special edition. And Squish, I think maybe as her mother reflecting, and thank God we have this technology now to expand this to all friends, family, whoever is going to be seeing this, and hopefully the message you and Jena will be able to convey will be out there. So go ahead.
Well, I've always wanted to do this and didn't know how it was going to happen, but thanks to Carl, we got this going. And, I hope you get the message here tonight that, I've lost my daughter, and that's the hardest thing you could possibly go through in your life. However, you got to pick up the pieces and move on for them. I'm living for my daughter today. She's with me every day. Just because she died doesn't mean she's not with me, or that the love changed, or that the bond changed. Everything, we still have the bond that we had when she was here. And I feel stronger some days, even more so, because I feel her wrap her arms around me and hug me. She saved my life in the bathroom when I fell. Like, there's so many things I could go on and on about that. She was there. And it was the only way that I can make sense of it is that she saved my life, or that she was there to support me and help me get through something. So I'm very grateful that I have that connection with her. I'm highly spiritual. I'm clairvoyant. I'm an empath. I feel things. So I think that helps with me getting the connection with her even stronger. So, that's been the beauty of all this. But I want you to know that just because they pass away and they leave us on the earth plane doesn't mean that they're not with us every single day, because my daughter is, and I'm grateful for that. That's what helped me move on, helped me get stronger. I haven't moved on. I mean, there's still that hole in my heart that will never fill. I miss her dearly every single day, but she doesn't want me to cry. I mean, she gets upset when she sees me crying and mourning over her, because she wants me to live my life and be happy. That's what she wants me to be. And she makes that very clear with me. So, it's been a lot. It's been a lot, but through God, my angels, and wonderful friends like Jen, she was like a second daughter to me, and Campbell, who's like the bright light of my life. I mean, if it wasn't for them and Brad, her husband, they made me feel so comfortable, and I felt so part of the family, and it helped me heal. It helped me heal. And I just want everybody to know that you can heal from a horrible tragedy like that. And it was a tragedy. It was a Terrible tragedy. Plus, we're in South Jersey and she lived in North Jersey, and then trying to get her things and all that, it was just a nightmare. But we got through it. We got through it. And thank God for Jena. She was there supporting me every step of the way. And I'll always be truly grateful for that.
Jen, I just posted a picture of Julie with
Campbell.
Campbell on the top right. So, and that you had her in May of that year, right? And Julie passed only 2 months later. So let's go ahead, reflect back on that time.
Yeah, that was incredibly hard to be a first-time mom and have a 2-month-old. I was struggling with breastfeeding, drastically struggling with breastfeeding, which any mom can relate to that, and also with sleep, and then I remember I took a break to have some dinner, and I think Campbell was sleeping, or maybe my husband had her. And then I got that call that I'll never forget.
The horrible call.
Yeah. And it was just so strange to be so happy because I was this new mom with this beautiful baby, and then to be so sad and grief-stricken at the same time. It was very, very confusing time for me. And that went on for months, for months that went on, and years, it was very hard. It was weird because it felt like Campbell came into my life and then Julie left my life.
That's exactly what
I don't know. Yeah, it's exactly what happened. And I don't know what that's about. Like, I feel like their souls are very much connected, Julie and my daughter Campbell. And I don't know if they couldn't be here at the same time. I don't know what that was about, but it felt like there was something to it that Julie wanted to watch over
her at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Or like Julie wanted to watch over her in a way that like she couldn't if she was here.
Right.
Like in the physical world,
Mm-hmm. I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah. I often think that like she was so protective and so loved her so much that she was like,
how she used to get mad at me holding the baby. She used to be crazy with me holding the baby. You're not holding her right. She used to get so mad at me. Your mother used to get hysterical. I remember that. She's like, listen, she raised you, Julie. She knows what she's doing. Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah. So that was an interesting, very hard time. But what we've done is since since that moment when Julie passed, we've talked to Campbell about her angel, Aunt Julie. And we have pictures of her in her room holding Campbell, and we talk about her literally every day. She has a little blanket that she calls her Aunt Julie blanket, and she has a couple of bears that she calls her Aunt Julie bear. And she won't go anywhere to sleep. Like, she won't sleep at my in-laws without this blanket because she's like, that's my Aunt Julie blanket. It goes with me where I go. And she knows Julie is her little guardian angel. So she's watching over all of us. That's for sure.
That's the one thing.
And it makes Campbell feel more protected. It makes her feel safe and
I always felt so grateful.
Even though she only met her when she was 2 months old.
Yeah. And you always kept her alive with Campbell, and that I was always grateful for that because she knew Aunt Julie. She even got to watch Aunt Julie's movies, the movies Carl did. So she knows who Aunt Julie was. And that was a beautiful gift, which helped me too, because it helped in my healing as well.
Well, I'm just checking about who's the week. Did we lose Jena?
I think so. She'll come back.
Yeah, she's been having a little bit of technical problems there.
Yeah.
Actually, Jena, we're getting your friend Ernesto is watching as you see the little comments on the side.
Hi, Ernesto. Yeah. I see that.
I'm back.
You back?
Yeah.
I'm back. Must have lost connection, but I'm back.
Okay.
But we try to keep her memory alive by always talking about her and her life. And, I do it. My husband, Brad, does it. And even like my mom and family members, like everyone talks about Julie, and she was important to us all. And it keeps her alive for Campbell. And even there'll be random times where Campbell will be like, Mom, what was Aunt Julie's favorite color again? You said pink, right? And like, yep. And we'll talk about that and how she loved.
Yeah,
Oh,
it looks like Jenna's having some internet problems, but showed her a little bit about how to come in and out, and she's on Wi-Fi at her home, and hopefully
I'm
you
back.
get back. You back?
back. Yep. Yay.
I'm back. I'm back.
You're back.
Sorry.
It's okay. Well, yeah, as you can see, the little picture I put up, she has a pink shirt on her blouse, and the other one has a pink background. Let's just show that one of you at her 30th
All of
birthday.
her girlfriends.
All the girls.
That was her what birthday? 30th
30th.
birthday?
Yeah, when
Yeah.
you were in Voorhees. Happy time. So, yeah, I think this reflexive, I think us able to express our time and show who Julie really was in the beginning as a child. And, I want to, to get out there. And I think we could just show a little bit of this clip here.
Okay.
And I'll start with. So here's the little girl. The famous
I rented a horse for her birthday.
Honey bees. Horse. Same
All her cousins.
Well, it seems like Jen is still trying to find her way back. But I showed that.
No,
video.
I'm here. I'm just trying to find a better connection.
Good to hear from you, Jen.
I'm here. I'm just trying to find a better connection. Hold on. So that way I'm not in and out all the time. Okay.
Carl, your friend sent a message. Did you see that?
I know.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice.
I know.
Okay, let's see how
Where
this
are you
does.
now,
I'm right
Jen?
next to the router now.
Where are you now, Jen?
Now I'm in my living room, which is a hot spot where my daughter and husband are. But this is where you're going to get a solid.
Are they
connection.
also watching as we're doing this? I'm sure they are.
will be in a moment.
Okay.
Let
Campbell
say hi.
Campbell, do you want to say hi real quick to Aunt Gina?
Campbell.
Come around to behind
How you
me.
feeling, sweetie?
Practicing to make the Eagles.
Good.
How you feeling? Better?
Yeah.
So this
Hi.
is 8-year-old Campbell.
Hi, Jen. And I have the picture of Julie with you at 2 months. Hello,
See that
Jen.
picture of you?
Hello, Campbell. I haven't seen you in a while.
This is a tribute for Aunt Julie's life. So we're talking about Aunt Julie's life.
So
I
actually, I
know what
was
she meant to
playing
us.
the video was showing Julia's at her 7th birthday party with the horse that the pony, excuse me.
Pony, I rented. Yeah.
And that little one. It was ironic that how that was, and I'm the one who's always taking the videotape and of the show. Of
Thank God we have it. We had it.
Yeah, and I spent miraculous amount of time to go through all the tapes and everything. And I'm going to go through another one, but I think that I wasn't at this 16th birthday party, but it shows a transition in 10 years when she was, 6, when she was at one of these other ones, and then to 16. So I'm going to play that. Hold on one second. Technically, let's see, play this. Your famous walk, Jada.
You had to put that one on. I remember she was aggravated with me. She didn't want to party. Yeah. And there's her dad.
This used to be my playground. This used to be my childhood dream. This used to be the place I ran to whenever I was in need of a friend. Why did it have
Yeah, it's just a little bit of. I was not at that party because we were not together at that point, and luckily your sister took that video.
Oh, right.
But Jen, talk a little bit how energetic she was and so much into the arts, and just seeing when she was dancing, because obviously she had singing lessons, dancing lessons, and so she was getting into the groove, but she had her own way about her. So it shows the transition from a 6-year-old at that one dancing recital to 10 years later at her sweet 16 birthday party. So I know I wasn't there, but I was glad to at least found that tape that Gina's sister took at that time. So that transition. So when did you meet Julie? Did you know her that as a young girl, or you got to know each other later on?
I met her when I was about, I would say about 12.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. I was best friends with Audrey Gamble, who lived down the street from Julie. And so I was friends with Audrey first, and then Audrey introduced me to Julie, and they lived on the same block. And we made friends through Audrey. And then not long after that, just a few weeks, Julie was having a birthday party. And I think it was for her 12th birthday party. And she invited me to come. And I was like, oh my gosh, Julie invited me to her birthday party. And we like just kind of met. And I was so touched that she wanted me there. And it was a small group of girls. We had a sleepover, and it was like the best time ever.
We did skincare, didn't we?
I think that's the night
my
we did.
business was skincare and electrolysis. So I think I did facials on all the girls, and it was like skincare, how to take care of their skin and everything. And look at Jena, how gorgeous her skin is. So it worked. Whatever I taught them was good. Yeah.
Yeah, we just had a blast, and I was so touched that she invited me. And then that was kind of the beginning of forever. with Julie. After that, we were
with me, because we got really close.
Yes. Yeah. You were like a second mom to me. I was at your house constantly. I would spend weekends.
The only way I could get Julie to clean her room was as I redecorated it. So Jena would come over and stay for the week, and we would redecorate, go out shopping, buy everything new for her, her bedroom. So we would fix it all up. Jena would maybe paint things, and Julie loved it. How long would she keep it clean, Jena? Like a week?
Oh, maybe? Yeah, maybe a week. Maybe a week.
We were lucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, Campbell.
Oh, that's
not Campbell.
I think that might be Grace. Or no, that might be Zoe.
Wasn't the Natasha's kid?
I think that might be Zoe, Natasha's oldest. Yeah.
That's not
Campbell. No. So all of Julie's friends had girls, baby girls. So there's a lot of baby girls that Julie's holding and kissing.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. That's okay. It's great to show how much she loved babies and loved all of our children, and showered them with presents, and just loved everyone in her life. But yeah, so I met Julie when I was around 12, and she invited me to her party. And then after that, we were just inseparable, always together. And Audrey was with us all the time too. The three of us were always often together. Always at Gina's house. And again, Gina was like a second mom. I'd spend weekends, days, weeks there. I wouldn't even go home for days at a time. And
I got upset one day. I said, is your mom okay with this? Does she think you ran away? I'm like
if Carol,
your mom was okay, because she knew I took good care of her.
If Carol Julie's watching this, she'll see that her granddaughter there was with Michelle's daughter.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That
Is
picture.
Carol watching? I don't know.
We don't know. I'm sure down eventually they will, but the word will get out. But I'm just going through as you guys are talking to use the screenshots from the video rather than that. So, but yeah, go ahead, continue, guys. You're doing good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she loved children too. I mean,
Yeah.
she loved the theater. She was heavily involved in the theater all through, her childhood, adolescence, high school, in all the musicals and productions, and like all these
Outside
baby pictures.
production. Yeah.
She loved the children. She nannied. She babysat.
Yeah.
Like she just loved
She
children.
went
Loved the
to
arts.
where did she go? To Netherlands
The
and stayed in
Netherlands.
a house for what? 3 months? 4 months?
Yeah, yeah. She spent
And
the
she
summer
watched
with her
the children.
family.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. I often wish that we knew who they were so that we could reach out to them
I
and let
know.
them know about Julie. Although maybe it's better not to. But
They would have been devastated because she really loved them.
yeah, she
Here's a
did.
picture from when Anthony was born in December of '91, and we made this trek out. Julie was out there with your mother, Gina, and then we came a couple of days later, and that's just on the porch, and that's actually December in Dana Point. And Jenna, I have to say, being out here, I've been there a couple times, and when I walk around that marina, it's not eerie, but it's Julie and actually Angela's Gina's sister, who has passed a long time ago. Their presence is still there. I feel it, and I think they pushed and helped to get this new medium, to get this message out to all of us,
Yeah.
and it's kind of cool. So as you guys are talking, I'm coming up with these clips. So continue either one.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
she was
Continue, Jen.
such an energetic, vivacious person. Her as a child, even though I didn't know her till she was 12. I mean, I can tell by the videos and the photographs, right, Gina, that she was incredibly energetic.
Oh yeah.
And
Everybody knew her from her smile and but the one thing that was funny that I never understood because she had such a gorgeous singing voice that if I would say, Julie, why don't you get up and sing for everybody? She would never want to do that. Like she was very shy about that. And I used to get so mad, you have a gorgeous voice, sing. And she didn't want to do it. So I never pushed. I said, okay, let it be,
she got
Well,
more
yeah,
confidence as she got older, I think.
Yeah, she had a lot of confidence.
Here's a
Yeah,
picture of
she
the
got
three of us. Someone graciously took of us. This is December of '91 in Dana Point Harbor. And it was December, and obviously Julie had shorts on, but it was just, like I said, that's why I walked around the last couple of times, and it was just eerie to the point of having all the memories there. They're very, very difficult. But yeah, I'm glad I'm able to learn this new medium and just show these still shots from the videos. So not the end. Keep going, guys. We're good.
Mhm.
Got another 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Right.
so yeah, but then as she aged, she, obviously was, super social, and everybody loved Julie. I mean, all the different groups in high school, from the performing arts people to,
Oh my God.
everyone.
The letters I got and the people that called me and contacted me after she passed were just like, she just did so much for me. She helped me so much. Julie was truly an angel on earth. I mean, she saved people's lives. Even though she, took a little turn and she was doing negative things, she was still positive in the negative lifestyle. She still helped people. A lot of people came to me and couldn't believe
Yeah.
how much she helped them. I mean, I was overwhelmed. And I was like, my daughter was an angel. My daughter was actually an angel.
Yeah, so beautiful. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
classic.
even though she went down an unfortunate road during that time, she was always still looking for ways to help people during that time.
Oh, always, always. And the funny thing is, she didn't do traditional, like NA or AA or any of that. I would find healers. And my daughter went to like Eric Clapton's place. I mean, we sold a car to get her to go there. I went over and above. I brought her to healers. I went to Massachusetts. My brother had a plane at the time, and he flew us to Massachusetts. And this woman was supposed to really help them, like an addict with relapse. And it didn't work. Nothing worked. I mean, I tried so hard with all different, ways to help her and heal and spend the money on different things that people wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
And it just never worked. It never worked. And it used
Yeah, I
to
mean,
break-
we haven't actually really talked about how she passed. I mean, we're kind of touching on it, but do you
Right.
want me to explain, Gina, or do you want to?
Yeah, we can explain.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, my
go
daughter
ahead.
had addiction. She had a disease with heroin, and as beautiful as she was, and people didn't even think that she was on drugs because she was always looked good. Well, I always made sure I did facials on her, and I did things to make her always feel good about herself, get her hair done. So I kept her looking good, and people didn't believe that Julie had a problem. And that was the hardest thing. I mean, when you're dealing with a child, they're sick, they have an addiction. It's not their fault. I mean, there's so many times that my heart just broke. I mean, so many times. Jenna knows we went through so much with her. I mean, there for a while. And, I did the best I could to try to help her, and prayers, and, God got me through. And the funny thing is, as she was going through that, I was trying to heal myself. Oh, that picture. I was trying to heal myself because I felt so broken. I couldn't help my own child. And I'm doing all this healing work and helping people, and yet I can't even help my child. It was like so very difficult, very difficult. And I just kept doing more classes after more classes after more classes, trying to better myself. And I became master healer in a few things. And it was, it was a beautiful, beautiful thing for me. But it didn't save Julie's life. But I believe in the long run, it brought Julie to where God wanted her. He felt it was her time, and I had to deal with that when she passed. Then she wanted to move up to North Jersey for a job. I did not want her to go, and her job then became her addiction, and she kept working overtime, going here, going there, traveling all over. And I kept saying, you have no support up there. You have to come back home. I didn't want her up there. And she ended up moving in with a friend. And then that didn't work. And then she moved in with another girl that she really didn't know. And the girl didn't know her situation. And that's where it happened. Julie went out one night, came home, got food, like her normal routine. And they found her dead. And I got a phone call. And that was the worst phone call I ever had in my life. The detective was such a, she said to me, "Are you Julie Thompson's mother?" And I said, "Yes." And I said, "How can I help you?" And she said, "She's dead." I went, "What?" And I just screeched, and I threw the phone, and car come running out.
And that screech was
I just screeched.
the
I
most
was like,
horrific thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And I knew just from that
somebody talked to me like that. I'm a mother, and we weren't Julie didn't look like a drug addict. She kept herself nice, and she just never looked like a drug addict. And that's why
I think it's also important to explain that she relapsed after a long time of not picking up. So she definitely didn't look like your
look how great she
stereotypical.
looks. This was Easter 2 or 3 months before. This was April. Look how
Right.
great. And we brought all the food up to North Jersey for Easter dinner, and her combination Easter and her birthday. Look how great she looks.
That was in April, and then she died in July. So
Correct.
if there's anything that people can take from this, is that even if you're in your addiction and you think you're doing well and you're in recovery and things are going okay, it does not take much for you to pick up again. So you have to keep your supports going, your community going, your meetings, whatever works for you. You've got to reach out to people if you're having a hard day, because you look at her in April here, and then July is just a few months later.
Yeah.
But she was doing really well for a long time.
Really long. Yeah.
And we need to go back really, because she started using maybe when she was like a junior in high school.
Yeah.
That's when it began.
But she was working in Voorhees, and did not happen with the people that she hung out with or she grew up with, because our school was good, that there was no drugs there. It happened when she started working in Voorhees at a restaurant, and the girl shot her with heroin, and that was the end of it.
Well, it started with coke.
Oh, was
Like
it?
just like yeah, they were in the bathroom on a break at this restaurant she was working at, and it started with coke, and then within 2 weeks it went on to the heroin. So it didn't take long.
Thank you. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it didn't take long to, but she was already kind of on this little path. Like she was like wanting to party and was like, drinking and, smoking and dabbling in some pot and different things. And then and I noticed this, like, as her best friend.
You came to me and you said, Gina, don't let her go to that rave. She'll kill herself. And I said,
yeah, she was planning on going to a rave, and she had told me, like, I'm going to try everything, and I'm so excited. And she had already started dabbling at this diner, and I was terrified of her going to this rave. I wasn't sure if she'd make it home. And so I went to Gina and told her what Julie had been up to.
I was just stunned. I was stunned, but I was so grateful that Jena had the courage to come to tell me, because most kids keep that all hush hush. They don't talk about their friends and tell you what's really happening. And Jena had the courage to come to me and tell me. So I always called Jena my angel from that day on, because she let me know what was really happening, because I didn't know.
Jena, that wasn't that specific weekend she was supposed to come down and meet with you, and she was complaining about back problems and the reason why she didn't come down, and then she found something that thought she could take for whatever she was experiencing, and that's what happened.
Yeah, that was flashing forward to her, the end of her life. So she started using in high school, and then it was a long road all through the end of high school. She got a scholarship to go to college for the art, like theater and the arts, and did not go to school because
I told her, you're not coming home in a body bag. You're not going.
Yeah, she didn't go because she started going down this this path of drug addiction and drug abuse. So she didn't go to college like she had planned. And then all through her 20s, she was battling this addiction off and on, rehab, like so many. And then in her late 20s, early 30s, she started to get it together here and there. And she'd have long patches of time where she was doing well. And then she would relapse and then fall off, and then she'd do well again. But then at the end of her life, like Gina had said, she got a job in North Jersey and loved this job. And it was like a very professional job where she was in sales for educating children. And they loved her.
A lot of money, and he kept dangling a carrot in front of her face. Well, you're going to get this bonus and that bonus if you do this and if you do. And I used to get so angry. I said, Julie, your addiction now is your work. I said, he's dangling a carrot in your face. I said, just come back home. This is not working out. And then she started getting vertigo. Do you remember when she got the vertigo, Jena? She started
she was really stressed out with work because she loved it and wanted to do well. She always felt so ashamed about her drug addiction and wanted to succeed and show everyone
the best.
Do it.
I have to mention that I was in marketing and sales all my life, and I had a background in it. But I know Julie was never really in sales, but how successful she was and how she was able to be successful because she was on stage. When she went into a school to make a presentation, she was that actress that they were captivated by her. She could have sold them anything, but they would have bought it.
A blind man in a pair of glasses, I used to say.
Exactly. That's where I was so amazed. I did have some, conversations with her about it. And I mentioned to her, she says, yeah. I said, Julie, when you walk in that door and make that presentation, there's the actress coming through. So you could have had anything to sell them, which you did. And it was an amazing, but I have to do one little captive story towards the end that she was in North Jersey. She was not great with directions. So she would text me the night before she had to go somewhere, and I would give her the directions to text. But about one little thing about different generations, and she was in North Jersey. I said, well, just check the radio for the traffic about, the Parkway, getting up to Northern New York or whatever. And I just put on, 1010 wins. It's like the KYW of New York on AM. She texts back, what's AM? So, it's like, okay, so little vignettes like that. And I was happy to do there. And I would say, how did you make it? Oh, yeah, your directions were great and whatever. And, we were getting back close again because I know, Jena, you went with her somewhere. I think it was 70 for the year before. You went to Yankee Stadium to see, oh God, who was it?
The richest guy. What's the heck's his name?
Oh, Joel Osteen.
Joe
Joel
Osteen.
Osteen.
Yeah.
Right. So I took her because I was
Wow.
doing executive car service at that time and she needed a ride to 30th Street Station. I said, yeah, of course I'll take you. Don't worry about it. You don't need Uber or whatever. I took her. We had a nice conversation before that and she was going up. She was very excited about that. So it's sad that, I don't have any other kids or whatever. And Julie was getting closer again. Because I remember being her one of her assistant coaches on her softball team.
Yeah.
And how she used to play with me about whatever. And Gina could remember that I was always kind of staunch at the dinner table and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And she used to love to break my chop. She kind of break me down.
Yeah.
And then certain times it's like, and then I finally would have to do and then we all had a burping contest at the dinner table. And it kind of broke me. It's like, okay, Joel, you win. And so it's just how you get kind of, get to know each other. And obviously she had her own father. I was her stepfather. And there was little battles saying, you're not my dad. I said, you're not my daughter. And back and forth. But then later in life, as she became an adult, she would confide in me. She said, Carl, I thought you were an asshole.
Yeah.
I thought you were this and you thought you were that. Blah, 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 blah. But then as I got older, found out the way life really was, I want to thank you. That yes, you never varied. You were a father. You don't want to be my friend. You were not my father, my biological father, but my stepfather. And that's, if anything coming out of this heartens my heart. No, I was some kind of a good influence on her, even though it wasn't consecutive years, but the times that she did reach out, I was always there for her. And I remember 1 or 2 years when she reached 18th birthday, and I sent her a birthday card with some money in it. And Gina, you even thanked me and she thanked me. So it's amazing how people's paths go and going through past relationships. But those little vignettes about myself and my personal relationship with her and being her softball coach, not the main coach, but I think the one time she really bonded with me. I don't know, Jen, if you were on the team when she was playing softball, and she was pretty darn good. And there was just one game that, all the girls had to play at least one inning. And we're getting to the fourth and the fifth. And it's like, oh, Julie's not in yet. And I called to the coach, oh, when's Julie going to go in? He goes, well, she can sit out for this one. And I immediately went, hey, Joel, get your equipment, get your bag, let's go. He goes, what are you doing? What are you counting? Wait, is she going to play? She's not playing. What are we wasting our time for? The rules have to be that she has to play at least one inning. And she realized that I didn't back down. And he goes, okay, Joel, you go in. And I think then she kind of realized I was for her. We bonded with that. So, all these little vignettes, and obviously I'm the male role model. And I don't want to get into the other role model. Gina would talk about that. Jena would talk about it. I don't think that's my call, but I think I was hopefully, and I know when she's around me, I hear the theme song for these two videos, Annie Lennox, No More I Love Yous, and then Madonna's song. So go ahead, guys. Let me try to find some more pictures to put up.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I think we were just talking about her with work towards the end of her life. So she was so driven to succeed because she was so ashamed of what she had done in her late teenage years and through her 20s. So she worked so hard at that job. And then it started to affect her. She got vertigo. She had hurt her back in an unfortunate incident. And that incident also involved a lot of trauma. She had a really traumatic incident happen to her.
And I think that was the end.
It was. She had a really traumatic experience happen to her about 6 months before she died. Oh, that's me and Julie, her 21st birthday, outside a limo. God, I look so
We went to
different
the
now.
casino.
Yeah. I'll never forget that.
I'll never forget it either. I
So
took my
much fun.
mother because she insisted she wanted to go, and what a nightmare!
Yeah,
that was.
that was a
Yeah,
mess.
you don't have to go into detail. I know what
Yeah,
happened.
no.
We don't have to go into detail. But I
So
think
anyway,
that's a classic. It shows the confidence and you could see through Julie's eyes and her whole demeanor that, and at that time of the world, at that time of her, she was on the top of the world. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead, Jen.
yeah.
Sorry to
she
interrupt.
was- No, that's okay. So yeah, so she had a really unfortunate incident happen maybe about 6 months or so before she died, and it was very traumatic for her. And at the time she was doing really well, but I fully believe and just know with every ounce of my being that
And I
trauma,
agree.
that it was very hard for her to endure and process and cope with. So another lesson out there for anyone who's
And get
listening who
over it.
has an addiction problem, like if you are in your addiction and you go through something really hard, that's when you need to lean on your people more, because
Not run away from them.
and not run away from them, because
That support system.
yeah, get your support system in check when things come up that are challenging when you're in your recovery, because it only takes one thing hard sometimes to have you go back.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. I think for months she tried to cope with it and didn't cope with it well enough. And then one night, I think her trauma just got so bad that she didn't know where else to turn and turned back to an old habit. And that one night, I mean, she literally went out one night and picked up and brought the bags home and OD'd.
And the same detective, not to interrupt you, but the same detective that was nasty to me and told me she was dead. And she ended up being really nice to me after she realized that she was wrong. And she said, I called her and I said, I have to ask you a question. When you found my daughter's body, what did you find? She says, I found 2 bags of heroin and 2 needles. One was dirty and one was clean. I said, you mean to tell me my daughter died from 1 bag of heroin? And she said, yes. I said, get that bastard. And he was a young kid. He wasn't even a grown-up. He was like a child, maybe 8, 9, 10 years old. I said, get that bastard, is what I said to her.
Yeah. So, I think it just, it was her way of coping from the past that she had gone to, unfortunately. And I often think to myself, God, why didn't she just call me? She also had a lot of back pain going on at the time. And I think was just like in pain, physically and emotionally, and thought
vertigo. She didn't have the vertigo too. She wasn't doing good. She wasn't feeling well.
Yeah. She was in physical and emotional pain, and she turned to that, unfortunately, after years of not picking up. Years.
Years.
So,
she was doing so well.
Yeah, and the drugs have changed over all that time, and then your body's not used to it. So if there's anything that anyone can learn from this, it's that over years your body changes and can't do what it used to, and things change. They're laced with stuff, and that's what happened.
Yeah,
and
it was only a little bag, and it killed her.
Yeah, so you think, oh, just this one time, it'll be fine. I just have to ease the pain. Nope.
No.
The dinner she picked up sat uneaten.
We saw it the next day. Yeah.
So, there's a lot of lessons to be learned here as far as, to just keep your support system in check.
Really strong and in place. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was 33.
Yeah, because the priest said to me, you and the Blessed Mother have something in common. And I was like puzzled. I said, like what? And he goes, you both lost your children at 33. And I was like, oh my God. But in that statement gave me some kind of comfort. I had some kind of comfort with that, knowing that me and the Blessed Mother had something in common. And I know in some kind of weird way that it gave me hope. It gave not hope, but it gave me strength.
Yeah.
Have you talked to him lately?
No, well, he had just had a birthday, so I did send him. Yeah.
Can you believe it's been 7 years since we went there for that July 4th, the year after Julie passed?
I'm telling you, I had so much love and support around me from my friends and family, and it was just amazing how people just opened their hearts to me after losing Julie. It helped me go, but especially Jena, because Jena was always constantly there with me and Campbell. And that made me so grateful every day. And it helped give me hope. It helped give me hope to move on. Everybody says to me, I don't know how you make it every day. If I lost my daughter, I'd be in bed. I wouldn't get up. You have to move on. I move on for Julie. I am living for Julie now because that's the most important thing. She wants me to be happy. She wants me to have a life. She wants me to, be happy. And she's with me. And I know she's with me because I've experienced that. So just because somebody dies doesn't mean that their love dies or the bond dies or anything that you had with them dies. It's always there. Always there.
Squish, how did I say when you first asked me questions that day? How am I going to get through this? One day at a time.
Step, one day at a time.
One step, one day at a time.
Yep.
And here we are 8 years later commemorating what
Talking
happened,
about
transpired that day. And look, I don't wish, obviously, I'm sure maybe fentanyl was out there in the market at that time, but people are horrendous going through this daily with fentanyl, which just all it is just a few grams of it, just a little dusting of it could kill someone. So I can't imagine what other people are going through in this present time. And, you found out, not that I'm a big fan of him anymore, but Robert De Niro's grandson died of that. And everybody you said, in these, is all fentanyl. So it's a scourge. And, I grew up when we heard the war on drugs and all that, but obviously there's no war on drugs. There's too much money in it. And maybe another episode we'll get into why it's still there and prevalent, but this is not the forum today for that. We're just here to commemorate Julie's life.
And to give her a tribute because you know what? Julie was a wonderful, wonderful girl and she was an angel and she'll always be my angel. She has saved my life since she's been gone. I've had experiences where I know she was there and I know she saved my life. And I'm grateful for that every day. I'm grateful that I can say that I connect with my daughter. I can feel her presence. I can feel her giving me a hug, kissing me goodnight, being there for me, even though she's not physically here.
Well, yeah, I know we're at the almost 50-minute up. Jena, will you be interested in maybe when Audra gets back from overseas and maybe do a second one? Because obviously we can't do her, in just 1 hour. And I'm sure, Gina, you and I are going to have many countless times and be able to talk about Julie and, maybe go into a little bit more detail. But I think to have this first particular one, especially on the anniversary of her passing, 8 years later, I think with this technology, I think we were blessed with this. And hopefully, people will see it and resonate and get back to you, Gina and Jena, about talking more about it. And
I really wanted to do this because I wanted people to hear me talk about it. And I wanted people to know that, when you die, you don't go, you don't leave, you just go to another dimension. And
yeah, it's a shame your video is just breaking up a little bit. You're good now, Gene. So,
okay.
But yeah, continue.
Yeah, we can still connect with our people who passed on. And I'm just grateful that I can do that. And I'm grateful that I studied enough that I can learn how to do certain things and I can figure things out. And I just know that, I'm blessed. I'm blessed and I'm very grateful. And you got to count on God. You got to count on God to help get you through the tough times because God and my angels carried me through. And also Jena and Campbell, it was always there for me.
Well, we're gonna close this out in a little bit, but I think we're gonna just screen share one little last one about a little goodbye from Julie. So give me a second here.
Thank you all for listening and love to all of you.
Well, we're not totally done yet.
I wanna love you from the daylight. Bye-bye.
Any final words, guys?
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I just want people to know that even though she had that rough road for a long, long time, she was a light, and she was full of love and talent and just deep passion
Right.
for the people of her life. And that's what we all remember of her. So even if you're struggling and you're on a rough road yourself, people think of you with the light that you are, as we think of Julie with the light that she was. And that's what we remember, and she was so much. She was everything. She taught me how to unconditionally love someone. Through all the ups and downs we had, that was my biggest takeaway, was that I learned unconditional love. And I learned that from my parents too. Don't get me wrong. She's not the only person, but I learned it from her in a way that I just can't explain. And I'll be forever grateful for that. So she taught me so
You guys
much.
had a bond. You had a really strong bond. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we were soul sisters for sure.
Yeah.
But I think anyone who knew her felt a spark of love and passion and an energy from her that was unlike anyone else.
Yeah.
I think anyone
She
who
was
met her would
unique.
say that. She
was
unique.
very strong. She was my angel. Always will be. Love you, Jewel.
But thanks for having me, and thanks for asking me to be a part of it. It's so
Yes,
of course.
It's an
and
honor.
hopefully we'll be able to do a second one and a third, and then down the road.
Yeah.
Gina's video's breaking up a little bit, so yeah. I want to just thank everybody for being here, and whoever's watching. And as they say subscribe, press the like button. If you're going to watch us on YouTube, please do that. And we'll be back for another one sometime soon, and we'll let everyone know. So thank you all for being here. I don't think I have a music queued up this next time. I will to end this, but I think with Julie saying goodbye to us was great enough. Thank you all, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.